Kraken Home Ice is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
The road trip continues as we welcome you to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Marchand, Pasternak, what a save by Decord! A big hit by 62. Hit hard by Larsson.
This 5-game journey ends tonight. The Seattle Kraken and the Colorado Avalanche.
Beniers in front, they score! It goes off Jaden Schwartz. It's a shot on the goal in game number 600. Jared McCann with a stinger.
The Vegas Golden Knights in town as they take on the Seattle Kraken.
Here comes Tanev. He's in. He scores! It's turbo time. Here's a chance. They score! Guess who? Brandon Tanev. In the right place at the right time. Breakaway. Jared McCann has the game on his stick. He scores! Jared McCann. Hey, hey, what do you say? The Kraken win in overtime.
The Kraken are finally back home after being on the road for nearly 2 weeks. They started the homestand against the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was Chandler Stephenson's first chance to play against his former team. Welcome to another episode of Kraken Home Ice. Coming up, we'll go one-on-one with head coach Dan Bylsma, his take on the recent road trip and how this team resets for their long homestand. And today was the Kraken Super Skills Showcase. Team Groovy versus Team Joey. We have the highlights. And speaking of the goalies, we'll talk to the designer behind the one-of-a-kind goalie masks. But first, let's take a look at the road trip. It was a tough one for the Kraken. They were held scoreless against both Ottawa and Boston. In Ottawa, Brandon Montour returned to the team after navigating a nearly 5,000-mile Ontario to Seattle turnaround for the birth of his daughter. Against Ottawa, Monty led the Kraken with 7 individual shot attempts. Ottawa beat the Kraken 3-0. The Kraken got right back on the ice the next night in Boston. Goalie Joey Decord did his best to keep Seattle in this game as the Bruins peppered him with shots. Decord made some big-time saves. He finished with 31 in the game. Unfortunately, he didn't get any support from the offense, and the Bruins win it 2-0. Tuesday, the Kraken closed out their 5-game road trip in Colorado. Kraken down 1-0 in the first. Matty Beniers throws the puck in front, and Jaden Schwartz knocks it in to tie the game at 1. That was the Kraken's first goal in 3 games. A minute and a half later, the Avs regain the lead. In the second period, Chandler Stevenson steals the puck and makes a perfect pass to Jared McCann, who scores in his 600th NHL game. Colorado answers with 2 more goals. Down 4-2 in the final minutes of the third, the Kraken pull Grubauer, and it pays off. Matty Beniers scores to cut the lead to 4-3, but the Avs add 2 more goals to put it out of reach. The Kraken lose their 4th straight, 6-3. Adam Larsson has been with the Kraken since the beginning. The team selected him in the 2021 expansion draft. He's a man of few words, but he does a lot of his talking on the ice. Chris Egan spoke to the man known to players and fans as the Big Cat.
Lays it back. He's got one in Larsson. He scores! Hey, hey! What do you say? Adam Larsson!
31-year-old Adam Larsson has been playing in the NHL since 2011. He's played in over 850 games.
Chance for Larsson. They score!
Obviously a lot of work put into it. I still love the game. Try to get out on the ice every single day.
The 6'3" defenseman is one of the most respected players on the team.
Introducing your captain.
He's an alternate captain and one of the veteran leaders for the Kraken.
It's a fun challenge, and I mean we have so many older guys, or half old, I would say, but that leads every day and kind of brings this ship forward.
Larsson grew up in the northern part of Sweden. His father and brother also played hockey, but that wasn't the only sport Adam enjoyed.
I played a lot of soccer growing up too, and then obviously when you get up in age, you kind of have to to pick and choose. And I don't know, somehow I always went with my dad to the rink, and he played for my hometown team too. And I was kind of leaning towards hockey all the time, but still to this day, I love soccer too.
In 2007, Larsson started playing for one of the top youth hockey teams in Sweden. In 2011, he was drafted by New Jersey. Larsson played for the Devils and Oilers before coming to Seattle. He's played on some good teams with great players, but in Seattle, he's loved the chance to become a mentor, friend, and teammate to fellow defenseman Vince Dunn.
Corner, here's Dunn now. Adam Larsson, he'll delay a shot, taken, scores!
We have obviously a good connection off the ice, but I think that kind of helps with the on ice too, to kind of have that open dialogue and relationship.
Adam Larsson has become a big deal for the Kraken, but in Seattle, the fans would rather call Larsson the Big Cat.
Adam Larsson, the Big Cat comes calling early.
I mean, it's fun. I don't know where it come from or who brought it up, but at this point, I can't change anything.
Larsson, the Big Cat, here he comes! Yes! He scores!
Today was the Kraken Super Skills Showcase, which consisted of a relay race, skills competitions, and a 3-on-3 game. It was a chance for Kraken fans to see their favorite players try new tricks and skills they may not try in a regular game. The coaches during that 3-on-3 game were the goalies, Team Gruby versus Team Joey. Ariel Arsuto has more on the action.
After a big win at home,
Jared McCann has the game on his stick. He scores!
there's nothing sweeter than celebrating with fans and keeping the celebration going into the daylight hours.
It's definitely a lot more fun when we snap that 4-drought losing streak, but I mean, it's fun for us and fun for the fans and kind of interact with them, so I think it's a great day.
It's always so much fun, and seeing the fan, they were amazing today, and that's why we love them so much. They show up for events like this, and yeah, we love them.
We have some great fans here who show up, you know, even when the games aren't at great times, right? So we're very lucky, and you know, it's been great so far.
It was also a special day for the families of players. Yanni Gord was one of many players who got the chance to skate with his kids on the ice. A little take your child to work day, if you will.
My daughters are a big part of who I am, and I'm so happy whenever I can go on the ice with them and show a little bit of what I do for a living.
As far as who had the best skills of the day,
Big Cat was amazing today. Best player out there for sure.
I think Lars was pretty amazing in the shootouts. You know, we gotta work him into the lineup there in real games.
Coming up, we're sitting down with head coach Dan Bylsma for some insight on the team. A hockey goalie's mask is unique from anything else you see on the ice. And when it comes to the Kraken goalies, Philip Grubauer and Joey Decord's masks show off their personalities. Up next on Kraken Home Ice, we talk to Decord about the inspiration behind this season's masks. There's always a lot going on at Climate Pledge Arena, whether it's Kraken hockey, basketball, or concerts. Have you ever wondered what it takes to transform Climate Pledge from a concert arena into an ice rink? You're looking at a time lapse from earlier this year when the arena hosted several events back to back. This is a quick look at a transformation going from the arena into the deep. A month into the season, there's been a lot of highlights for the Kraken, as well as a lot of adjustments from the coaches down to the players. We talked to head coach Dan Bylsma about the team's progress and the timing of this nice long homestand.
On the road for 5 games and 12 nights. We had early success in the first game in Montreal, but back-to-backs, not meeting success. The road trip starts to drag out.
I would imagine that even for the players to sleep in their own beds, to see familiar things and have the meals in their familiar regimen, that's got to be huge too.
I got off the plane at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my dog met me at the door, and my bed was shortly thereafter, and just to have the comforts of home and have the familiarity of the surrounding family and friends, and heading into Climate Pledge Arena, the familiarity surrounding the fans going to be there. It's energizing. It's comforting to get back home. It's energizing to get back to the things that you know and like the best. And we're going to get to do it now for a stretch here at home.
All right, in such a long season, a lot of teams have a lot of success on the road, some don't. What makes it so difficult to win on the road?
I think it's a daunting, you know, you're going into some difficult buildings, you're going into some difficult places. It presents, you know, a kind of a hunker down, dig in mentality from your team, and you can use that to your advantage and play a hard, honest, competitive road game to try to sneak out some wins. But that's kind of the mentality when you go on the road. Is it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be in some tough places, and you got to hunker down as a team and come together as a team and dig out success on the road.
But one of the things that impresses you as a coach is the fact that the other team is going to score goals. It's how that your team reacts to scoring those goals, because you're not out of it. They just scored a goal. It's part of the game.
It's accented on the road when you make a mistake or the other team scores a goal. They get momentum. The fans are behind them. It's, you know, you talk about tough places to play. You're talking about the fans being loud and rambunctious, and you know you're dealing with them screaming down your back. That's a part of playing on the road too. You gotta deal with the massive momentum shifts, and you have to deal with the energy of the crowd, which is so great about Climate Pledge Arena. Is we got to use that our fans and how great they are to our advantage when we get teams in our building.
All right, so I'll take you back to maybe your playing days. You know, all the years you've been coaching. Is there an arena or a city that's very difficult or somewhat intimidating to play in?
I think there's some aura and some in Montreal. The Ghosts of Montreal, the Forum, are difficult to play in. You go in there and you're in awe of the history. You're in awe of the building. You're in awe of the Montreal Canadiens. So going in there was one. Chicago Stadium for me was you always look forward to playing there, but when the anthem goes and the place is in an uproar and this place is shaking, is like, whoa, this is as a coach, we've had a few. Playoffs are exponentially this way, but the fans in Montreal, you're talking about a place that you cannot hear each other talk, think. You can't communicate on the bench because the crowd is so loud. Washington was that way in 2009, playing against them in the playoffs. The place is so loud that, you know, they rocked the red in the third period, and the place was just, you know, shaking and so loud. They just made them tough buildings to play in. It's interesting to hear you reel off a few. There's not just one for you. There's several places that you'd rather not play in. Well, you want to play in them because that means you're in, you know, it's significant games, and but it is amazing the effect that you know, those buildings, the atmosphere, and the crowd can have on a effect of a game. The Kraken goalies have some pretty unique masks. We talked to Joey DeCord about the inspiration behind the one-of-a-kind designs. And in this week's shootout, we're talking to the Kraken players about all things movies. That's next on Kraken Home Ice. Goalie masks are the only customized equipment a player can wear during a game. Those masks not only provide protection for the goalies, but they also give us a little insight on their personalities. We talked to Joey DeCord about the inspiration behind the masks.
Their masks are as flashy as the leather they flash as they deny puck after puck.
What a save by DeCord!
The goaltenders of the NHL are artists in the crease, and they wear it proudly.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about being goalie. A lot of people play goalie just because of that. We get to customize their own gear. Like, I fully customize my own pads, my own masks. Yeah, we're pretty unique out there.
They're the most fashionable guys on the ice, but it takes a whole team to bring these goalie designs to life.
So my mask painter, his name's Shifty, that's his paint name. He's down in California. He does an awesome job for me. And basically what happens is I usually give him an idea, and I say, hey, like this year I said, hey, I want a dark mask and I want a white mask, and you do whatever you want and have fun. This is my home mask, so I wear this when we play at home. And then this is the one I wear with our white jerseys on the road. So it looks really, I think I think this one's actually one of my favorite ones I've ever had.
Two unique looks united by Joey Decor's must-haves.
Well, the back plate's the same, so this is the back. So got my name here, my nickname, and then got my 3 nationalities, so Switzerland, Canada, and then obviously United States, where I went to college. This is the Sun Devil pitchfork. This is the House Stark logo from Game of Thrones. That's kind of an inside thing. So, and then this obviously is a sticker for the Gaudreau brothers. That was an addition this year. Honored to have that on my mask as well. This is my Winter Classic mask from last season. So this is the baseball mask from we played at T-Mobile last year. So yeah, got all the baseball cards: Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, J.P. Crawford, Cal Raleigh, and got Julio here as well. So yeah, it came out really cool. And this one was the only one that's a little bit different. We went more like baseball theme on the back. And then, yeah, Winter Classic logo. So that one was pretty special too.
Oh, he's robbed! What the cord?
While Joey outsources his designs to his go-to guy in Cali, Philip Grubauer goes to his guy in his very own building, Kraken art director Drew Hamlet.
We sat down and talked about a few things that he's passionate about. Things like the outdoors, fishing, horses. So after that, sat down, sketched out a few ideas, and we've kind of been doing that back and forth the past few seasons. Last season we had the Space Needle on the top, which was another thing that I thought would be cool to include along the crest. I think we try to bring in parts of the city, parts of the region, and then also make sure it still represents what he wants.
This collaboration is part of a dream realized.
Growing up, I used to draw a lot of helmets and a lot of hockey things. So it was a pretty cool experience getting to work and make something that actually exists and you get to see out on the ice.
The first win of the season for Philip Grubauer.
When you get asked the question, what's your favorite movie? Chances are 1 or 2 movies come to mind. In this week's shootout, we asked the players about their favorites.
This is tough. This is a debate in a lot of our dinners. I would say I always go with Remember the Titans. It's kind of old and faithful, but I have some other new ones that have been like Inception. I like Leonardo DiCaprio, a lot of movies. So,
favorite movie's probably The Other Guys. My favorite movie is Life is Beautiful.
Favorite movie? Questions are good today. I want to go with Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore. Let's go with that.
Favorite movie? I think of like Shawshank Redemption, Good Will Hunting. Usually most people's favorites, those are the big films.
I think 1883. It's a show, but love it.
That's a tough one. I watch a lot of movies. I really like the Batman movies, and I really like No Country for Old Men.
Big Marvel guy. I like Marvel movies. The original Iron Man is pretty cool.
Favorite movie? Oof. It's tough. Let's go Slapshot.
Master and Commander, Far Side of the World.
Ooh. Step Brothers.
Coming up on Kraken Home Ice, we visit the Museum of Pop Culture to check out the Kraken Common Thread jerseys for this season and learn about what goes into selecting the local artist responsible for the designs. And this week, we're starting a new segment called Slapshot Snapshot, featuring you, the fans of the deep. Send us photos of you at the Kraken games or sporting your favorite Kraken gear. Text your Slapshot Snapshot to 206-448-4545, and you could see it on next week's show.
Assist of the Week is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
The assist of the week goes to Chandler Stevenson in Tuesday's game against the Avs. Stevenson's at the right place at the right time. Steals the puck, swings it around, and makes a perfect pass to Jared McCann. McCann scores in game number 600 of his NHL career. Kraken Common Thread is a new program dedicated to promoting diversity and inclusion within Kraken hockey and the local community. It's a way to highlight local artists, especially through the team's one-of-a-kind Kraken jerseys you'll see at home games, like those designed for Hispanic Heritage Night earlier this season. We got a behind-the-scenes look into the jerseys coming up this season and what goes into selecting the artists.
Art tells a story. And for the Kraken, their story is being told through the fabric of one-of-a-kind hockey jerseys. Stories about the unique and diverse Seattle community are woven into the Kraken's S logo with designs created by local artists.
We believe that it's important that every one of our Kraken fans feel like they're a part of our community.
The jerseys are part of Kraken Common Thread. The program aims to create inclusivity and unity within the hockey community.
What's amazing is that the jerseys, similar to our fans, are all different, they're all unique, but they all kind of come together and kind of form our Kraken identity, our Kraken S.
Since the franchise's inception, specialty themed nights have been a huge part of game days at Climate Pledge Arena. This year's Hispanic Heritage Night was a new addition, bringing the total number of artist-designed jerseys to 9.
So with hockey not being as inclusive as some other sports at the youth level or at the collegiate level and at the professional level, we wanted to make sure that there were a lot of entry points and on-ramps for many of our new fans. And Kraken Common Thread is a great program where we've been able to highlight local artists, small businesses, and other community organizations as we've thought about bringing in new community members into our sport and making sure that they feel welcome.
The jerseys intertwine artistry with hockey to showcase the community's rich stories. The artists come from across the Pacific Northwest, and many of them live and work here in Seattle.
It's definitely a process for a lot of our artists. This is one of their first forays into sports, or working with a professional team, working with a jersey as a medium of sorts. Many of them are drawing, painting, muralists, etc. So it's a little bit of a different scale.
In order to find the artists, Kraken Common Thread works with community partners, previous artists, and a number of other small community organizations. It's a group effort and a labor of love.
For me personally, growing up in Minnesota, playing hockey my whole life, I always wanted to see myself and see more people who looked like me represented in the game. Increasingly, the NHL is becoming more and more diverse, which is a positive sign of where we are and where we're going.
Jerseys are auctioned off at each theme night, and the money goes to One Roof Foundation and an additional nonprofit that's tied to the theme of the night. Fans can now see the jerseys in person at the Museum of Pop Culture. They are on display at Mopop's Culture Kitchen from now until the end of the year.
There is a lot going on at Climate Pledge Arena this week. Usher is bringing the Past, Present, Future Tour to Seattle for 2 nights. He's performing at Climate Pledge on Sunday and Monday. The rest of the week is packed with Kraken hockey. On Tuesday, the Kraken take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Thursday, the Chicago Blackhawks come to town. And on Saturday, the Kraken take on the New York Islanders. 6 games total on this homestand. It's the longest of the season, so hopefully the Kraken can take advantage of some home cooking. And that'll do it for this episode of Kraken Home Ice. You can catch us Saturday nights at 10:30 on Kong or Sunday nights at 11:35 on King. Thanks for looking in. We'll see you next week.
Kraken Home Ice is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross.